think the environment's been competitive. It's been full of growth mindset. And just because you're in one position now doesn't mean you can't continue to climb and work your way into gaining a bigger role. So the older girls that are leaving, we're losing 5 seniors this year. And I always tell them the best thing you can leave this school is not championships or all conference awards, but developing the next you.
The council is now in session.
With a personality shaped by being an athlete and a background in mainstream sports media, I found that the stories I was most interested in telling were the ones often overlooked, the ones that might not otherwise be told, the ones that show the intangible and not just the highlight reel. The Sports Council is about highlighting the great, the good, the unique, and everything in between in the Pacific Northwest sports world. I'm Jamie Council. Thanks for joining me.
You're listening to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, the Tri-Cities leader in sports.
The Tri-Cities is known for producing some major talent in girls soccer. On an international scale, Hope Solo from Richland, McKenna Martinez of Kennewick, currently leading Oregon State in scoring, and Summer Yates of Pasco, who just won a league title at the professional level with the Orlando Pride of the NWSL. While talent is expected from the Tri-Cities, team success is a different story. Richland soccer has dominated the MCC and at the state level, placing third in state as recently as 2021. Just like last year, the Bombers are sharing the conference title with Chiawana, both finishing 7-1 in Mid-Columbia Conference play. But Chiawana is a team that hasn't had much in terms of program success outside of the MCC. The Riverhawks haven't been to state since 2017 and have never advanced past the first round of state in the history of the program. This year's squad is looking to change that under head coach Sam Nunez.
My name is Sam Nunez, and I'm the head coach here for the girls soccer team.
Here at Chiawana
High School,
Chiawana High School. But people know you, people know Chiawana soccer, anybody that follows it in the Tri-City. So before we get into your season, tell me about your tie to Chiawana. How'd you get here now running the girls varsity soccer program?
Yeah, it goes way back. I mean, I was at Pasco when I first came to high school, 2008. Then the new school got built, and I was a student. I played in this jersey, played for the varsity program here. And I was coached under Rich Zoller back at the time. Then fast forward, I went through college, graduated, ended up working back here as a student intervention supervisor. And I think it was the best door that God ever opened for me. Right away, I got integrated into the boys program again as a C team coach. And then pretty quickly the next year, I was already the varsity assistant for the boys as well as the varsity assistant for the girls under Rich Zoller, my coach back at the time when I played. The next year he retired, and then I had to sit and wait behind another coach, Ed Carnes, for a couple years, and then finally last year I was blessed to be named the head coach for the girls, and so it's been kind of a long ride, and it goes way back, many years, but it's been a blessing to get to this point, and I'm loving every step of the way, and my dream is to one day be the head coach for the boys, and we've been doing great things there ever since I came and Coach Dotson came, so. It's been a long path to get here, but I'm enjoying every step of the way, and I'm Chiawana through and through. So, yeah.
And so you are both on the boys and the girls side at Chiawana, which not a lot of people can balance that just with the differences, especially at this age. What's the biggest difference that you've seen?
Yeah, it's very different. I would say sometimes the guys are a little more hard-headed, and it's definitely a faster-paced game, obviously. The girls are a little more willing to work with each other, but I mean, there's pros and cons to both. And when I coach the boys, it feels like I'm a player again, and I love that feeling. But I mean, when I first started coaching the girls, I wasn't sure about how I would feel, and honestly, I've fallen in love with it, and it's my baby. I love this program, and every day that I step out here, I preach it to the girls and to myself. We just want to get 1% better every day. But I just love Chiawana. I love this building, and I love soccer and this program, both of these programs. So it's been a blessing,
And they're successful programs to be a part of.
You
You guys ranked one of the top in the state, and all eyes are looking at Chiawana as you're wrapping up the regular season, heading into district play. So tell me a little bit about what makes your team this year so successful.
Yeah, I think, we just had a lot of returners come back, to be honest with you. I think we lost really 2 starters. There was a third in there, but she got hurt half of the way through. So one of the girls that's here this year had to, start most of last year. So really we lost 2 starters from last year. And I think that's a big starting piece. We just have a lot of camaraderie within the team, a lot of girls that play club together. And I think there's just a real togetherness about this group, a chemistry about this group. We have team dinners jokingly like twice a week sometimes. I told the girls this year, we got to cut it back and just do once a week. We got to practice out here when we have tough games. So, it's just, there's a togetherness about this group. They're sisters, they love each other, and I think it shows on the field. They battle for each other. So, yeah.
And talking about the style of play of Chiawana, watching the highlights, it's such a high-powered highlight reel that you guys have put together. So tell me a little bit about the formation, or just what can people expect if they start to follow Chiawana soccer? Yeah,
I have a pretty clear philosophy when it comes to my coaching style. I want to have the ball as much as we can. So I'm a possession-based coach. We played in a 4-3-3 last year. This year we tinkered a little bit with the 3-5-2, and I kind of just wanted to go back to that 4-3-3, something that we're, familiar with. And I think we've moved people around and shuffled things quite a bit. And I think we found a good little rhythm within the last couple games. So we're a possession-based team, but at the same time, we want to defend really well and really be tough to score on. I think last year we allowed 5 goals, and only 2 of them were in the run of play. 3 of them came off of like free kicks, set pieces. So this year we've allowed, I think, 2 it's been. So we're doing, or it's 4 now, actually 4. But so we're kind of right in that same line. But we just want to be really strong defensively, really tough to beat, keep games close, and then at the same time be high powered, always have the ball and dictate the pace of play, the game, the style, and the momentum of the game,
Knowing how to win is an art form in itself. So how do you guys do that, even in these close games, being able to, whether it be PKs or just go the final step, because soccer, it's not as black and white as other sports, because sometimes there's only one goal that's scored in the whole run of play. So you can have the most shots on goal that you've had all season and not score and lose. Yeah, this game can definitely be cruel sometimes. You have the majority of the possession and one ball doesn't go your way, it goes their way, and then it's 1-0. That definitely happens in the professional game, the college game, the high school game, all the time. So I think your question was how do we find a way to win these games? I think part of it, in terms of penalty shootouts, we've had to grow a little bit. We had a tough exit last year right before state after having a great regular season to Richland in a penalty shootout. And this year we've come on top on 2. So I think part of that is just being in those moments and knowing what that feels like, and then being able to go out and execute the next time because you've been there before. I think as well, there's been games this year, that teams will maybe sit back and defend, or I think every time we come out, we know that we have a target on our back. We've been successful, and people want to make it really tough on us. Every time we come out, they're giving us their best shot. And so I think most of the time we try to just have the girls understand that we want to have the ball. We want to have dictating the majority of play, and there's gonna be a lot of chance creation. It's just up to us to put that 1 away or that 2 away that gets you the win. So, we've had a little bit of both this year, some PK shootouts and then some more dominant wins. But at the end of the day, a win's a win, and we want it however it comes. They're all just as sweet, and they're all leading us to, like I said, being 1% better every day and getting to where we want to go, which is hopefully a deep state run. Yeah, and now as you prepare for that, what are some things that you've had enough games under your belt that what you need to work on? Yeah. So for you guys, as you prepare for state, that people can watch you, they know what you guys are about, and you're going to see competition outside of the MCC. What does that look for you? How are you preparing for district and beyond? Yeah, I think as far as the teams here in the area, we know each other pretty well. We used to play each other twice a year. This year, it's a little different with that new conference setting preparing for next year. So as far as here, we know each other well. And even in the Spokane area, I think every year since I've been coaching as an assistant, we usually end up playing either over there or here in the later rounds of the district playoffs, obviously. And you get to know their styles. Some of the coaches have been the coaches for a while. And so we know that Spokane teams are always going to pose a different challenge to what we see here. Sometimes they come out in 2 striker formations, which is a little different than what we see. But, at the end of the day, I think we always
obviously we respect all of our opponents, but we're always kind of more focused on ourselves and what we're doing. We believe in our philosophy and our style of play. And like I told you, we know that if we create enough chances, we have the people in positions to put them away and to figure out a way to get the win. And so, obviously you prepare, you game plan, you look at film of other opponents, and you just try your best to put your girls in the best position to succeed. But a lot of the times we just focus on us and the things that we do well, and we want to continue to do them well and get better each and every day.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the pieces on this year's team.
Yeah,
but
I'd love to.
First, we're going to take a break and hear from our sponsors. You're listening to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports.
Where are you gonna go?
Krispy Kreme!
Yes! Krispy Kreme has Ghostbuster-themed Halloween donuts October 7th through the 31st. Stop by and pick up your supernatural dozen now. While you're here, grab 2 dozen original glazed to take to the office, just $24.99 daily. And schedule your fundraiser today to raise some dough for your organization. That's your local Krispy Kreme, 2805 Dupertail Street in Richland. Come in with a sweet tooth, leave with a smile.
Krispy Kreme!
Inconveniences can happen at, inconvenient times. JRT Mechanical has plumbers and HVAC technicians available 24/7 if an emergency does arise. Or if you feel like your house isn't cooling like it used to, or if you're tired of a hose leaking from last winter's freeze, JRT is an honest, reliable company that's been in the Pacific Northwest for more than 3 decades. Give JRT Mechanical a call at 509-314-4314 or visit jrtmechanical.com.
If you've got a winery, brewery, or dairy, why buy industrial parts and supplies from across the country? Central Industrial Sales is your local source for supplies and equipment for the dairy, food processing, winery, and brewing industries. We specialize in custom fabrication, industrial cleaning equipment, sanitary fittings, valves, pumps, chemicals, and many other supplies. Everything's available through our website, by phone, or by dropping by our office. Call 509-375-4032 or find us at centralindustrialsales.com.
You're listening to Jamie Council on the Sports Council.
We're back on the Sports Council chatting with Chiawana head girls soccer coach, preparing for playoffs. But we talked about team philosophy, but now let's get into some of the players, as you have a lot of returners, a lot of highlight machines, as we referenced earlier. So first, we'll start at the goalkeeper position, and we'll work our way up.
Yeah, we're blessed to have a lot of talent here in each of our lines. So starting at goalkeeper, we have Addie Tensmeyer. She's a junior now. She started for us ever since she was a freshman. So she's been solid, has a lot of experience under her belt now. And I think her biggest weapon, she's an athlete, great athlete, and is a good shot stopper. But more importantly, because of that possession style we play, we tell her, we don't have 10 on the field. We have 11. So she's like an extra defender back there. If you watch our games, we like to swing the ball back to her, switch the point of attack, and then go the other way. So she's another weapon for us on the field with her feet, not just with her saving ability. And so Addie's been great, and she's a phenomenal goalkeeper. Yeah.
And now moving to the back line that you said you experimented a little bit, but we'll go back to the 4-3-3. So having the 4 in the back, that's always so tough because you have to really work together, trust each other. So what combination have you found that really works for Chiawana on the back line?
Yeah. One of our big losses from last year that we really felt was because we have all of our back line back. So they're all back. There we got on the left side, Kennedy Douglas, who's been playing a little bit more at fullback. At center backs, we've had Taylor Mills and Kalina Barbosa. And then we've had Ayla Harden at the right back position. So that was our back line last year that played almost every game. But we've moved people a bit. We moved Kalina into the midfield because we lost one of our players last year. We felt kind of that loss defensively. So Kalina's a Division I. She just committed to Idaho. And we've moved her in the midfield, and we've kind of experimented there in the back, putting different people. We have Macy Smith that's played a lot back there at the outside back or center back. We've moved Ayla to center back, sometimes outside back, Ayla Harden. And then we've also put recently Amaya Garcia Thompson as well. So we've have a couple that we kind of platoon swap in there whenever we push Kalina into the midfield. But yeah, the back 4 is back. We just kind of shuffled them around a little bit, but it's a strong unit, and I think definitely it's a big part of the way we want to play because we like to build out of the back, and that means we're going to invite pressure because we believe that if we can break that first line, we're going to get past them and have a lot of opportunities going forward. So we take on that risk for the reward of breaking down lines. Yeah.
Playing the numbers
Yes,
game.
exactly.
And now moving into the midfield, you kind of talked about the swap of some of those names are now in the midfield, but who do you have that's kind of, I guess, on especially on the sides, those workhorses? Yes,
for sure. They have to go up and down and be really technical in that area. That means just strength and ability on the ball, confidence on the ball. So like I said, we recently moved Kalina there at the 6, which is kind of like your quarterback. You know, they got a more like a little middle linebacker as well. They got to defend. They protect the back 4, but then they also play make and dictate play at that position. So very important position, the 6th position, they call it, the holding mid. And that's been Kalina. And then in front of her, two returners from last year that played every single minute, Lindsay Sanchez and America Garibay. They're both phenomenal on the ball, a little bit shorter in size, but man, offensively, they're weapons, and they're kind of a little different. Lindsay's a little more attack-minded, America's a little more defensive-minded, so they complement each other really well. But the biggest thing they both have is they're great on the ball. They're very technical players, very skilled on the ball, and I think that helps us playing forward and finding, gaps between the opposition's back line and midfield line. So they're great. Yeah.
And now moving to the front line, who do you got there?
Yeah, so as well, we have a lot of talent there. We have Miley Anderson, who had a ton of goals last year. She scored 18 as a sophomore, and she's back. So she's really been just a load for people at the 9 position. She's our striker. At the right wing, we kind of have a couple of people that play there. Avery Douglas, as of recently, has come on and just off the bench been really promoting a spark. So she's kind of asking questions of the starters or the other people that we've been moving there. So it's great to have that kind of competition. Yeah. And then on the left side, we have another standout, Alexa Campos, great player. She was first team all conference last year. And she's one of our senior leaders or captain. And so, even then off the bench, we have people that can come in and give those girls a little break and put a lot of work in, freshmen that we have. So it's a talented group, but it's mostly been Miley, Alexa, and then on the right side, it's been Kennedy, and then we'll swap someone else at fullback. So kind of like I mentioned, platoon swapping a bit, but yeah, those are kind of some of the main names that have been doing well for us up there and scoring a lot of goals and helping us win games.
Yeah, and it sounds like this team has been a couple years in the process of what you are now. And you mentioned a little bit about that competition, and competition is always a good thing, but it can also be hard depending on how the coach perceives it or even in the locker room. So tell me a little bit about the relationship. And in segment 1, you kind of touched on that, but what is the squad like when it comes to being a good competition and good competitors in a positive way? I think there's a fine balance there, like you mentioned. And I think part of it was we saw a great freshman class. We kept a lot of freshmen. There's also some seniors on our bench, some leaders. I think, first of all, we kept a bigger roster. That's something different that I didn't usually do. I usually liked a smaller roster. And so, I had conversations with my assistant coaches, and we opted for a bigger roster. So we're at 22. Obviously, not all 22 can play every game, but man, our practices have been phenomenal. Another name I forgot is Sawyer Chubb, who's a sophomore. She's made a great leap over the summer, and she's been playing a lot of forward too. But yeah, we just have Sawyer and a bunch of other girls that are just competing every day out here first to get their time on the field. And obviously, like I said, we can't play them all, but I think the environment's been competitive. It's been like an environment that's full of growth mindset, like just because you're in one position now doesn't mean you can't continue to climb and work your way into gaining a bigger role. So, and it's nice having a lot of younger girls to hopefully that these older girls that are leaving, we're losing 5 seniors this year, I always tell them the best thing you can leave at this school is not championships or all conference awards, but developing the next you that I get to have for 4 more years, that the program gets to have for 4 more years. So it's been a balance for sure. It's hard, especially with minutes, but man, I think practices have been awesome. And I think there's been a lot of growth from everyone, our starters, as well as the girls that have to come off of the bench. And it's just been fun. So we want to keep going every day, getting better. And I know this season you still talking about championships aren't everything, but you guys are still on that. But Chiawana is known for kind of having that legacy. And we were talking about it before the interview of Summer Yates. Yeah, she's phenomenal. Or the Pride, winning the Shield, as they call it. And a graduate of Chiawana High School, stand out at UW. How does her journey influence these girls, of course, Chiawana soccer is kind of
Yeah.
what created her, as well as club. As
Yeah, for sure. A little bit of both, but she enjoyed playing for the community. And yeah, I think all the girls know obviously who Summer is, and her jerseys or her awards are in the hallways and the trophy cabinets. And you know, she's been amazing, and she's come out and talked to our girls last year before our district championship game against Gonzaga Prep, and just gave the girls words of encouragement. This year, she helped us do a little fundraiser, so she's still around. She's always liking our messages on Instagram, or our posts on Instagram, and so, you know, even from afar, like I didn't get to coach Summer, but I was here as a boys coach when it was her senior year, and I just admired her from afar, you know, being a soccer head myself. And so we're proud of all the success that she's having. And I think it causes at least our girls to dream and say, you know, if she can do that, like, why not me? Especially girls that are younger that aren't even here yet, you know, girls that are in the Pasco area that it's just a well-known name in the community. And we're so proud of all the success she's having. But in terms of how that impacts us, I think we all want to just push to be our best, just like she's done. She's taken her abilities to the highest level, right? You know, U.S. national team and all the things she's doing in the NWSL. So we just want to be the best we can be, best version of ourselves, just like she's doing out there. And yeah, we're proud that she's one of us. And I know she's proud of us when she sees our posts and our success that we're having recently. So we want to keep it up for sure.
And keep going.
Yes. Yeah, we want to keep building on it for sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
No problem. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're excited for the road ahead.
Inconveniences can happen at, well, inconvenient times. JRT Mechanical has plumbers and HVAC technicians available 24/7 if an emergency does arise. Or if you feel like your house isn't cooling like it used to, or if you're tired of a hose leaking from last winter's freeze, JRT is an honest, reliable company that's been in the Pacific Northwest for more than 3 decades. Give JRT Mechanical a call at 509-314-4314 or visit jrtmechanical.com.
If you've got a winery, brewery, or dairy, why buy industrial parts and supplies from across the country? Central Industrial Sales is your local source for supplies and equipment for the dairy, food processing, winery, and brewing industries. We specialize in custom fabrication, industrial cleaning equipment, sanitary fittings, valves, pumps, chemicals, and many other supplies. Everything's available through our website, by phone, or by dropping by our office. Call 509-375-4032 or find us at centralindustrialsales.com.
Where are you gonna go?
Krispy Kreme!
Yes! Krispy Kreme has Ghostbuster-themed Halloween donuts October 7th through the 31st. Stop by and pick up your supernatural dozen now. While you're here, grab 2 dozen original glazed to take to the office, just $24.99 daily. And schedule your fundraiser today to raise some dough for your organization. That's your local Krispy Kreme, 2805 Dupertail Street in Richland. Come in with a sweet tooth, leave with a smile.
Krispy Kreme!
You're listening to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, the Tri-Cities leader in sports.
My name is Taylor Mills. I'm a senior and I play defense.
I'm Alexa Campos. I'm a senior and I play midfield and forward. My name is Ayla Harden. I'm a senior. I play right fullback or center back.
My name is Kalina Barbosa. I'm a junior and I kind of play everywhere, but mainly like center defensive midfield and then center back.
So you guys have been seeing a lot of success this season, a very close group, as well as talking to Coach Nunez of kind of a continuation of last year where you guys were at. So in your mind, what's made this team so successful?
I'll kind of go off first, but I think what has made like our team really successful is just like keeping each other like accountable during practices. Like during films, we really like focus in and like say what we need to improve on. But we just like together, we just do everything like in a positive way, lift each other up really.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then kind of like our energy and our family type of a way, you know, every time we walk onto this field, it's like, you know, my second family. And so I feel like being so close in that way has kind of helped us connect and be as successful as we have been.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically what they said. I mean, just our chemistry overall. All of us, like most of us have played together for the past, personally, 3 years, you know. So I mean, that brings us chemistry throughout, playing together. We get to kind of feel how each other plays. And then obviously we hang out outside of soccer. So I think just that family aspect, as Ayla said, really helps.
I think that we work hard, but we make sure that everybody feels comfortable and that we can give each other criticism without getting offended or taking it the wrong way. And we try to bring in the freshmen, sophomores, people who haven't been here as long, and make sure that they feel like they're a part of the team, and make sure everybody knows that they have a role and everybody plays a part and everybody is part of the team.
I think that's so important for sports in general, but when you said watching film and knowing what you guys are doing good, what you guys are doing bad, rather than feeling you deserve something, where you kind of get into that team aspect. So with that being said, where you guys are, how does where you guys finished last year, for all of you guys that played a big role on last year's team, how did that roll into having, I guess maybe a chip on your shoulder, knowing what you wanted to get out of this year?
I think that we are using last year to motivate us, and we know what we're capable of. And every time that we take the field and we practice, we watch film, it's a game, we know what we can do, and we have last year in the back of our mind, and we know that we're better than that, and we can show that we're better than that. So we just want to show everybody what we've got and do better than last year and always be improving and making sure that we're getting better.
Yeah, it's so hard to drop something in PKs because you do the work and it's just so close. It's kind of a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously falling a little shorter than we thought than we expected last year really motivated us this year, because last year we shared the MCC title with Richland, and then we ended up losing in PKs and all of that. And so I think that with that this year, like, we know that we can do better. We know that the team we have is just so special and we can get far. And I think that with that, we're really trying to work on that, work even harder this year, watch film on the other teams, and just play every game like it's the best team, because you never know what can happen.
Yeah, and so using last year as motivation for this year, and I think it showed where you guys are pulling out close games in PKs, you guys are winning that, and I think is because of that scar that you feel like. So now one of the top teams in the state, not just in the MCC, what is it going to take in your guys' eyes to be able to kind of continue that and continue the momentum going? Or what do you want to work on now that you guys are about to enter postseason and really see what the Chiawana Riverhawks are made of?
Yeah, I think our focus and our intensity are just going to be kind of the big aspects here, because you can't just slack off and then expect to get everything that you've wanted. You have to work for everything, and nothing's going to come easy. And playing these tough teams is always going to make us better. So as long as we're matching the intensity and playing our own game, that's what's going to help us be more successful. And then again, kind of what Taylor and Alexa were saying, using last year as motivation to kind of help us be like, okay, well, we know we're better than this. We know what we need to do to be successful, just kind of using that as our motivation.
I'm going to go off of that. What we've kind of always said was like our practices should be harder than our games, if not like equal, but we like to go for being harder. So then when it goes to those games that we're prepared, we're not like surprised by anything. So I think just preparation really is what helps us a lot.
Knowing that you still have plenty to prove and not looking ahead, and don't want to put that out there. But with that being said, what is next for you guys?
After high school, I'm committed to play at Central Washington University, so I'll be going there and continuing my education and playing soccer in Ellensburg.
What do you want to major in?
I'm not sure yet.
Undecided?
Yeah.
So after high school, I'm going to be majoring in getting my business degree, and kind of seeing where that takes me. I don't have a specific program I want to go into yet, but and then also I'm going to be playing soccer in college as well. I don't know. I'm undecided on what school to go to still, but I will be playing
still
soccer.
Uncommitted
Yes.
in business.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Alexa, keeping my options open. I'm undecided on what school I would like to go to, but I know I do want to major in something health sciences, as the end goal is to be an orthodontist and kind of have that be my own business. So definitely got some big goals I got to follow after that, but health sciences and then wherever dental and ortho school take me.
What is the part of your game? Obviously, you guys are a successful team and you guys are the leaders. So tell me, what is the best part of your game? And just each go through and what are you good at and what keeps you on the field and makes you a leader here?
I think for me, I kind of always like to be talkative because I feel like no one's really a mind reader, so they don't really know what you want or like what you're planning. So just communicating really, I feel like I play a pretty big part in for this team.
For me, I'd say like my defensive abilities and being really loud. I'm very competitive on the ball, and as a defender, like the last thing I want is for a ball to go through to a goal. So I'm very like big on preventing that and getting the ball out. And then kind of what Kalina said, nobody's going to be able to read your mind. So being very loud and talkative is just kind of like one of my strongest attributes.
I'd say probably a big one for me is my versatility. I can play anywhere on the field, so I think that's a big thing. And then also, I think seeing the game and my unselfishness is really good because my IQ level, I guess, I can see like the field really well. Comes with the unselfishness, I can find the passes that my teammates are looking for, like the runs that they're making. I can see those pretty well.
I think I bring like composure and a sense of like calmness, especially being in the back. Like when I get the ball, I want to like slow it down and like bring everybody back, like especially in big games. Like I think that I can bring like a sense of composure and like we can play our game and like slow it down if things are getting kind of like out of hand or not how we like to play. So
Chiawana has been, somewhat successful, but hasn't made it to state or made that run. So as you guys are entering district, really seeing what you guys are made of, what does it mean to both you guys and the Riverhawk program to be the ones on the field to do that? What would that mean to you guys in the program?
I think it would mean a lot, and I mean that's one of my biggest goals, and I think that if we were able to do that, it would be making a big mark and showing everybody that we can do this and that setting the tone for the future and showing everybody like what this program is about and that we have the ability to win here. We can go to Spokane, we can go to across the state and compete with good teams and we'll be okay.
Yeah, I think just proving everybody wrong would like mean a lot. We've fallen short the past few years, and so I think just making that final step and really excelling under pressure. I think we've been doing really good at that this season. We've come to quite a few close games, but at the end of the day, we make it through. And so I think just continuing doing that and then continuing to hold each other accountable will really bring us far this year.
I think that making it to the state playoffs would be a really, really big step for the Riverhawk program. We have a bunch of other sport programs here that are just as successful and, make it into the state playoffs. So, for us being as well known as we are in the MCCs, I feel like it'd be just a big step for us to make it to that state playoffs. And, like Alexa said, holding each other accountable, making sure practices are just as high intensity as they are in games. I feel like we can achieve that.
I think they kind of really said kind of everything, but
hard to go last.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like so we can just represent our school. Really, I think that's just a big thing. It will mean a lot to us. But yeah, just mainly like putting ourselves out there and like proving or showing that what we can do.
Wrap up this week's show of the Sports Council. Thank you for joining me on 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports. A reminder, the Sports Council happens 4 times a month, 11:30 a.m. on Thursdays. But you can listen to this show not just over the airwaves at 11:30 on Thursdays, but also on demand at 1340ESPNradio.com via podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, just search for the Sports Council, and it's also available via YouTube. So lots of ways to listen to the Sports Council and support our local sports community. Until next time, I'm Jamie Council. Now we go back to your originally scheduled Seattle sports programming.